You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
All right, welcome back. We've got Mike McCoy of Prudential Worldwide in the studio today, and he's our real expert for real estate market in the Mid-Cities, Northeast Tarrant County area of the Metroplex. And we're talking about suburban living. And in the last segment, we were talking about buying a house and how people go online or they do these downloads on their smartphones, and that's how they start their initial search for a home. And I think that's important to kind of get an idea of what you like. You know, it's kind of confusing. I mean, Dana and I right now are in that process of, okay, we've sold our house in Colleyville. We worked downtown Dallas. We moved to an apartment in Las Colinas, and I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I'm in the weirdest point I've ever been in my life because I don't know what we want yet. We've always made our decisions based on school district and kids, things like that. So I'm starting to download apps, starting to look at different things. We're looking at all options, which makes it probably a realtor's nightmare, right? Because I don't know what I want. So I think if you start off by figuring out what you want, come up with an idea there, that's part of getting ready to buy. The other thing that Mike, we were talking about on the break is that when you really got a time frame, if you're 90 days out from buying a house or maybe even 30 days out, one of the things I think you need to do is reach out to your lender and make sure that you've got your finances and everything in order. Because if you need to do some things, in today's lending market is so strict that there are some things that if I get time to counsel you, I can walk you through, okay, this large deposit in your bank account is going to be a problem. So let's get that out of the way before we get the 2 months bank statement, so we don't have something we have to deal with later, that we have to do all this documentation on. So there's some things there. Also, I spend a lot of time with clients that are getting ready to buy, because what people don't realize is not that I'm paying $1,000 a month rent here, so now I'm going to buy a house and it's $1,400, and that makes sense because I get the tax deduction and all that. It's what am I going to do with my mortgage? The largest financial obligation you're going to have or liability that you're going to have, how you structure that, and what's your plan to build wealth or build net worth in the long term. That's what I do. I spend time on that, and then I make sure that we do a qualification. And what I do first is we'll take the application, we'll pull credit, we'll run it through the automated underwriting system, and this is what most lenders do. And then they'll say, okay, you qualify to buy a house up to the $250,000. You have 5% down or 20% down. Here's where you qualify, and that letter goes, and it's a standard state of Texas regulated letter that goes out to realtors, and it has a lot of holes in it. Basically gives you a lot of outs. And the realtors look at that and they say, well, it really doesn't tell me that for sure I've got this guy that can be approved to buy this house. And when a buyer's agent presents an offer to a seller's agent, they usually require that letter to go with it to show that this customer's been qualified. So you might as well get that out of the way early, get your strategy together, call our office, and we can take care of that for you. The other thing that you want to do if you're thinking of getting into the process today, and we're offering this up to our listeners, is to text our show. So to go ahead and text our show at 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. If you're looking to buy a house in the spring, go ahead and text the word buy. And I don't care if it's in the mid-cities or anywhere in the Metroplex. If you're getting ready to buy a house or if you're getting ready to sell your house, just go ahead and text our show, and we'll put you with a real expert in the part of town that you are looking in. So, because we've got a lot of real estate experts in different pockets throughout the Metroplex. And Mike's here to talk about the Mid-Cities, Northeast Tarrant County area. And so what we do there is we'll do that pre-qualification. But the next step we do, which is what realtors love about our office at Affiliated Bank here in Dallas, and we can do it all over the phone. So we service all 50 states. But one of the things we do next is we go ahead and gather all that credit documentation, 2 months tax returns, the bank statements, all those things, and we do the next step, which is we get you credit pre-approved. So you're credit approved. We're waiting on an asset, which is the house. As long as the house is good, you're good to go. And that's realtors love that because we know that we've totally underwritten your file. The underwriter has seen you. So that steps out of the way, and you can move quick. And I bet that has helps you, Mike, when you go to do the offer. I bet the selling agent looks at that differently, right?
Well, yes, they do. When it's pre-approval, there's no doubt that the person who is making the offer for the property is going to be able to purchase that property at that price. So it's invaluable. The other invaluable step about it, and one I kind of take personally on it, is my new home buyers. I can't tell you how many times I've had a good family, I mean, young family, they get their pre-approval, or not pre-approval, pre-qualification letter. And when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, they find some little interesting things that cause little fires here and there, and they're not able to buy on their first dream house. And that's just heartbreaking. It's a waste of not only the buyer's time, the lender's time, but also the realtor's time. So that's a great service that Steve provides, is get that pre-approval.
Yeah. And so, in the other part that we do as well, and if you've been listening to the show, you've heard about our Make Sense Mortgage at affiliated bank. And let's just say you're not a first-time buyer, you're a second home, third home. Maybe you've been an executive and you've had a change in your pay, or you're self-employed and you don't document your income that fits these tight agency guidelines now. We've got something called a Make Sense Mortgage, and that's where I look at the file, and you've got 20% down, but we can't document the income, or maybe you had a short sale a few years ago and the automated underwriting engines aren't taking it, or maybe you just got something that just knocks you out of the agency guidelines. We can do that deal if it makes sense. I have to look at it and say, would I lend this person my money? Mm-hmm. And then once I put my stamp on, then I take it to our committee at the bank. It's an affiliated bank loan program. It's an ARM program, someplace to put you into the house until you get that cured, and then we refinance you out into an agency loan at that point. It's not a subprime loan, but it's in between that. You know, it's not going to be a lower interest rate. It's more expensive to get the loan, but it's for fallout. Mm-hmm. So that gives me the ability to qualify more buyers for you, Mike, as far as being a realtor. So that's why you know it's good to bring your stuff to myself and the other offices in the Metroplex of Affiliated Bank. So one of the things I wanted to talk about on the buying process, and we talked a little bit about driving up in front of houses and stuff like that. If you're out today on Sunday, it's noon to 1, and I'm sure there's a lot of open houses out there. I've asked Mike to pick out 2 gems that he can share with you. So, Mike, would you talk about the 2 places that you would not miss if you were in that market?
Well, it depends, again, what price range you're really looking at. I picked out 2 houses because I think they're extraordinary for the location and the value which you get in the house. The first
these houses are open today, right? So if they want to go see them,
yes, they're going to be they're open between 1 and 4 today. So please stop by. I'm not going to have any cookies. I'm not going to have any smells going on. So just come on by, take a look at the house. But the 2 that I've chosen today is 3408 Spring Valley Drive in Bedford. That's 3408 Spring Valley Drive in Bedford. That house is currently listed for $135,500. That's in the heart of the Dallas, not the Dallas, that's in the heart of the Bedford, Hurst, Bedford area. And it has some of the best schools that you can get for that price range. One of the nice things about this property is that I'm a big proponent of energy efficiency. It has new hot water heater. It has got new flooring, fresh paint. It's got added insulation. So for the money of $135,500.
How big of a house is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that house is right at 1,600 square feet, built in 1972. And
so
again,
it's less than $100 a foot.
Yes, it is. It's $85 a square foot, so it's really for the value. And this is also for a family that may want a larger yard because it backs up to a creek. So if they have dogs or anything, it's just a really good property for a young family.
And what's that address again?
That address is 3408 Spring Valley Drive in Bedford.
And if you're listening right now and you don't have an opportunity to drive by that property, we're offering the new service on the show now where you can text our show. Just text Spring Valley to 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546, and we'll hook you up with Mike so he can make an appointment for you to have a personal tour.
You bet. I'd be happy to do so. The second property that I've picked out is for an executive, or also it's for a family. But the reason I brought out this property is because the individual that lives there now pays maybe utility bills of $200 to $250 tops.
And what's the square foot?
The square foot of this property is right at 2,200 square feet. It's listed for $231, and the address is 9424 Shoveler Trail, and it's basically in Southhurst. It does have a Fort Worth address, but it's in Southhurst in the subdivision known as Trinity Lakes. But what's exemplary about this house is that it has all the top appliances, nice newish carpet, tile flooring throughout, very open and spacious. But the biggest quality that it is foam insulation. I think foam insulation is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I highly recommend that you take a look at this property as well. And again, I enjoy meeting you there.
And what's the address of that again?
That address is 9424.
That's 9424.
Shoveler Trail.
How do you spell shoveler?
Shoveler.
Okay.
Like
and that's
a shovel and then
Okay, and that's in Southhurst. And what school district is that one in, Mike?
That school district is in the HEB, and that's the big plus about it. It's not in the Fort Worth School District. It's in the Hurst-Euless-Bedford School District.
Okay, so it sounds like you've got a couple good places. If you're listening out there, again, get out your cell phone, send a text to our show, 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. So we're going to kind of have to wrap this up. Mike, is there a website that you can go to reach you?
You bet. If you'd like to reach me, please go to www.toptexashomes.com. And on that site, you will be able to also find everything you need to know about buying and selling. Thank you, Steve, for having me.
That's great. And today we've had Mike McCoy. He's one of Northeast Tarrant County's top producing agents for Prudential Worldwide Realtors. And he provides a lot of research and helps you make sure that you're doing the right investment into your property. And as always, you can reach out to me directly, Steve Hakes. I'm your mortgage professional with the best rates and lowest fees in the Metroplex. I'm at 214-643-6021. That's my office, 214-643-6021. And you can always reach us also through realtalktexas.com. If you want to listen to this show again, Paul does a great job of reposting these shows every week on realtalktexas.com. Thanks for listening.